during the restrictions, I got a bit bored, and I would go onto YouTube, and for some reason my usual fetish for history and trains wasn't cutting it. I lost the passion for it. And one thing that I did notice was that Harvard Law School in America, so like one of the best law schools in the world, had this thing going on. It's about 12 years ago that some of their former students, who are now big, rich business people, clubbed together and said that they should put all of their law lectures and debates and stuff like that they should put it online. And so it's out there. It's out there. It's one of those examples where kind of like the amount of information that you have is there. Like if you want to look up anything, literally anything online, you can. And so I went through all of these lectures that Harvard had on there. I've always said this: if somebody is offering you advice for a price, always be cautious of those who would charge you for advice, but always be patient with those who would give it for free. Now, I'm never going to. I say I'm never going to use what I learned from those lectures, but I did actually learn quite a bit from them. Just different changes in perspective, different changes of understanding, different ways and modalities in which the mind works. And they were a really, really interesting resource to me, hugely interesting, that I took a lot from. And they're online now. Like close down this window and end up and literally go and search for that instead. Because it's all there. But here's the thing: is that just because I've read all that, does that mean that I'm as qualified as a Harvard lawyer? No. Does that mean that I've had that sort of education? No. It means that I've been subjected to the ideas, the topics, but I haven't studied there. Not the studying kind, but it's there. That information is there if you want to access it. But the reason why I draw the comparison though is because a lot of the time people see what happens online and they think that is the same as, or in some cases better than, the actual experience of doing something in person. There is that huge conflation that, shopping online is the same as going to the supermarket in person. Going on Amazon is better than actually trawling around the shops. Not the case. You know, just because I've seen that online, just because I've had that information online, what are the real world practical applications of that? Well, I don't have a law degree. Certainly don't have a law degree from Harvard. Haven't had the experience of going there. Haven't had any of the essays set for me or anything like that. They've got reading lists, and of course, you know, I went through a few of the books that they were suggesting. Immanuel Kant, read him. Notions and theories about consequential and categorical moral reasoning have shaped a lot of the views that I now hold. That richness that I was able to absorb from those lectures was an amazing thing that I would never have ever been subjected to ever in my life. But I don't for one moment seek to conflate what I've done online with what the actual experience of going there would be. I think within the last 2 years, certain people have seen kind of like this juncture in humanity and have thought, I'll take advantage of that. Because people always look to take advantage of situations like that. And I think the move online, the move to put most things online, I don't think we're there yet. I don't think we're far off, but I don't think we're there just yet. And the same with cards as well. I think it's maybe about 15 to 20 years away, but I don't think we're there at the moment. But that drive to kind of like get everything online, it doesn't sit well with me for two reasons. The first being that online will never actually match up to the real world experience of doing something. But secondly, I tend to notice that a lot of people can't draw a line between in-person world being real and online world being fake. And I've had relatives and friends in the past who said, "Oh, it's just a virtual world that you're engaging in." When I used to go on Yahoo Chat many years ago, "Oh, it's just a virtual world. Ignore it. Do something else." And I took that, so I always saw, the generation that I grew up in always saw online as fake, real world as real. I find that line has become just increasingly blurred, you know? And so it's important, I always think, just to stress that whatever you get from online, however pronounced it may be, remember that it's still online, and remember to draw that contrast between the real world and the online world.